everyone, and welcome back. Brand new,
brand spanking new
Attack on Show. I'm Rob E.
And I am J Marsh.
What are we covering today? What segment, J Marsh? Back on the bike.
We're doing Extreme It, right?
Yeah.
Extreme It. Yes, my favorite. Yes.
We haven't gotten hit with copyright infringement for that yet.
Not yet.
But we're working on it.
Sure.
So, as soon as someone watches.
Well, it's got to be over 12 people for it to be a copyright infringement. So, yes.
We're going to be taking a look at Netflix's original Hustle.
Hustle, yes.
Starring Adam Sandler.
Is anything original with Adam Sandler?
All his movies are original now on Netflix, right?
That's true, right. Yes, yes.
This is a brand new film. Just came out a couple months ago. It's got a high rating, actually. It's what?
A 92 on Rotten Tomatoes.
92 on
Rotten. Which, that actually says a lot, I feel. Like, that's a solid rating, yes.
Especially, this came out at the beginning of June, and I always try and wait before the Rotten Tomato scores really make sense, because it seems like...
Because you got to give it a little leeway to,
a bunch of people jump on it right away and give it a perfect score, and then you go see Multiverse of Madness, and it's not 100%. But this film, at a 92%, I got to tell you, I'm just going to dive right in.
Yeah, no, go ahead, jump in it.
This movie, to me, like, I was blown away. I'm not even going to wait till the end to tell you if I liked it or not.
Good, all right, let's go. Pretty close.
Adam Sandler's performance in this movie really stood out. And I know a lot of people gave him credit for Uncut Gems.
Yes.
But I felt he screamed too much in that one. He did great dramatic acting, but this movie, I felt, was more of a balanced approach. And you could see, like, to me, I felt like this was like Adam Sandler's, like, love story to basketball.
Hey, you love this game. I love this game. I live this game.
I mean, there is some
absolutely
depth to this film with, like, street basketball players, NBA players, college players. Like, this movie just touched on all aspects of the basketball world. That just really, it struck me. I could tell he was a fan. And for people, as far as the plot, I guess we should fill them in. Is that he's a scout traveling the world. He's kind of getting burnt out. He's at the end of his career.
He gets an opportunity at that point, and it's kind of ripped away from him.
Yes.
And he's kind of put back. He finds a gem of a person, and it doesn't necessarily work out. But it's more of a mentor coaching story in that aspect. And I have to say, he not only that, but with his co-star in this, there is a chemistry there. You're going to ask me. Yeah, good job. Yeah.
Hopefully
Rob will put it down here. The actual name plays the character of Bo Cruz.
Cruz missile.
There is Rob's absolutely on point when it comes to Adam Sandler. Excellent, but I think the dynamic between the both of them, the chemistry is amazing, and I have to keep going back to that. And the film was what pulls me in when I'm watching it is their character play between the two of them. Yes.
It was almost of like the whole time watching, I felt like this is like the Rocky of basketball films.
That's a really good comparison. Yes,
it is. Adam Sandler is trying to coach this kid to
There
get
is a
him
coaching
picked up.
montage of sorts in it. Yes.
The run.
There's nobody pounding any meat, but there is a joke about pounding meat. But we'll get into that later.
But no, the chemistry between the two of them just came off so natural.
Yeah, it really did.
It was really heartwarming to watch this show where I was kind of like permagrin through every interaction between the two of them, where like you kind of wanted to hang out with these guys. A couple things that stood out to me is the DP work on this. I thought was amazing. The camera work on this film, the directing, the editing, even the editing of this film blew me away. I think I was about an hour in where I actually even just said out loud where I loved the camera work style and the editing of this film. They used a lot of imperfect shots.
I feel like and I feel like there's considerable amount of basketball play in this, and that was done very well. I think you can lose that in a film where sports are involved, and it can kind of take you out of it, or it can be overdone. This was very, very well done. Even the end credits, I sat and watched. It was
all
really
the way through.
All the way through, because you're like, it was really done well.
They captured the action sequences. Kind of going back it was outside of that where there's just certain scenes where like Bo Cruz is sitting on the bench after practice, and like the shot is just of the bleachers out of focus, and then it like moves down and he's sitting there, and then it comes into focus, and there's little things like that, the techniques when they're in the elevator and it's not focused on who's saying the words. In fact, like, it cuts away from the shot to just show the elevator building moving, and you hear Adam Sandler talk. There's just different technique in this movie that I was just blown away by the style of it. Like, it felt to me like it was a new stylized sort of film.
And I think that's what captures a big part of this. Because I will actually talk a little bit about the other side of the film that I did have some issues with.
Okay.
There is a relationship with Adam Sandler and his wife in the film that
Queen
felt
Latifah.
so made up, and so I found it actually taking me a bit out of the film at times, a bit out of the movie. And then, please, it's an excellent movie. You gotta watch it. Make sure you pull on it. But there's just some weak moments in what could be an absolutely incredible film where there's some casting things. The Ben Foster, I'm really kind of like...
I thought he did great.
Did you really?
I love to hate him. I thought
it was a little over the top for the film. I felt that it could feel a little more real. Heidi Garner is a weird...
I thought she did good.
Again,
Anthony Edwards was great.
Anthony Edwards was Kermit Welts. Anthony Edwards was fantastic. Like,
yes.
I see other things for him actually in doing this. But I will say there's some casting, like, I would only, if there has to be a critique, there's some weird casting in there, and I felt that, like, there's just a little, the daughter was excellent.
Yes.
But the Queen Latifah thing felt very forced.
And it's hard to pinpoint because, yes, there's something about the two of them together that
there's
just
no
didn't
chemistry,
click.
I felt like, yes.
But the acting individually was amazing. Like, I loved Queen Latifah's character. I loved the way she played it. I liked Adam Sandler's character. I just felt like they seemed more like buddies when they were together.
Like, I was
than
actually
it seemed like a
struggling
marriage
at
couple.
the beginning. I'm like, are they married? It didn't feel that way at all.
Yes. So I would agree with you on that part.
There's an interesting producing credit in this.
Okay.
I don't know if you caught that. LeBron James is actually a producer in this, and there's like 30 other ones, but I was actually surprised by the number of producers in this. But I was like, oh, that's an interesting production credit.
I was surprised by that, and then to see, like, the main team was the 76ers of, like,
to
see him tied.
And it's an interesting team, and I don't think you necessarily get the opportunity to. But again, it was very well done. It was very heartwarming. It was one of those very heartwarming films. The ending is excellent, but not necessarily what you expected.
I'm glad you brought up the ending because I did want to touch on that before we rate it. There's a lot of good. The ending lost me a little bit, and the only issue I have is, like, there's a lot of, it made the classic romantic comedy mistake, kind of like Bridesmaids, where, like, there's just that last 20 minutes where you're like, you should have just ended it here. Like, when she delivered the cake, you should just let them make up. Towards here, I felt like the Combine is where they should have basically started to tie the film up. Like, I felt like they went one too many adversity steps, like steps of adversity to get this film wrapped up. Because after that point,
and I will
I was at the edge of my seat in the Combine. Like, I was like hoping for this.
Okay, well, I will absolutely disagree. Only to the fact, not only to the fact that, like, that's what everyone expected, and they took it that once. Like, you really think this might be the end of the movie, and that's how I felt at the scene after that. And then you go, oh no. Yeah. And there's a redemption moment in that, and I enjoy that redemption. And again, this is difficult sometimes without giving everything away. There is that redemption moment in the end of that, and I think we both agree. If the wrap up on the very end of it, that the prologue, let's say, at the end still existed, could you have eliminated the scene before that?
It was almost like after that sequence, everything just fell into place too easily. Like, it was almost like I was waiting for Mr. Scrooge to come out with a turkey.
Oh, a coop goose for everyone! It's Ebenezer Scrooge!
Everything just landed so perfectly after that tour. It was like you had enough steps of adversity up to the Combine that, like, I think you could have just used that to wrap this up. Not the extra, because again, it was almost like two storybook written after that for me, where I was like, okay, now it's too easy.
Okay, and I will argue to the fact that sometimes I enjoy that in a movie. I think sometimes that storybook ending, Rob, is one of those things where I go, yeah, I needed that. And I think sometimes I get wrapped up with making sometimes things a little too edgy and a little. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not, but this is an Adam Sandler film to remember. And there is some really fun cameos. And
yes.
Like, how old are you? I'm 22, which is just, I'm going to leave it at that. It is literally one of my favorite scenes. Who's that? That's my son. He's 11. And that's all. It's just, it's one of those laughable scenes by, a great cameo that's in there. I think you have to have that warm ending. It's kind of that.
I want to hear from the viewers because I
sure,
know
I would
it's going to be a
love
split.
comments below. It's going to be split on this one. Again, I think Rob and I both agree. Great movie.
No, if we're going to rate this here, I'm going to kick things off. Out of the 1 out of 5 scale on the Attack on Show scale, I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5. Like I said, only that little hiccup at the ending kind of is what took it. Like up until then was a 5 for me. And then that little hiccup, which was just minor.
I'm going to actually agree with you on the 4 out of 5, but for a completely different reason. I think that maybe a 4.5. There is.
I can't do half on the.
Oh,
graphic.
we can't do half on the graphic.
It's
Okay.
gonna be a headache.
No, all right. So I'm going to agree with Rob on this and say it's a 4.5 because I think. No, I keep saying 4.5.
It's fine. I'd give it a half as well if I could.
Would you? Yeah, it's just
I'm
one of
limited.
those. Like I think it's for a different reason, and there is just a little bit that because. There's such great chemistry with others that there's just there's some and it's just lack of chemistry between the two major characters in there. But other than that, no, it's a great film. Absolutely watch it.
So have you seen it? Have you not seen it? If you go and watch it now because of what we said and then you want to tell us what you think, we want to hear from both of you down below. We want to hear your feedback, who you agree with on this. If you think either of us made valid points,
Absolutely,
we'd love to hear back from you guys and see if maybe we turned you on to a new film that you weren't expecting to watch.
Absolutely, yes.
Or you think we're complete jerks and hate the movie.
It's all right. You just may think we're assholes in the first place, which is fine too.
Most do.
Right, yes, sir.
As always, we want to thank you guys for watching Attack on Show. Season 9's out with a bang right now.
Booming.
The people are loving it.
Yes.
The fan mail is just pouring in.
It's
We do want to
incredible.
respond to you. It's just a matter of time to read all those letters. We deal, we still.
Why
have
do
other
we
things
just
in our
keep getting
lives.
letters? That's
And
really
it's
awkward.
crazy.
Yes,
That one
yeah.
had that weird powder in it.
Well,
I
the
forget
other
what
one
that
should
is.
stop with the dick pics. That's really that's a lot. Yeah.
So make sure you click like, subscribe, and there's a little bell.
Oh, make sure you do the bell because if you don't know when we're issuing brand new episodes, and sometimes it's random.
No.
It is.
Yes, and we've gotten hate letters for not having new episodes when we release
We really
new
have, and that
episodes,
feels
and we had
good.
to tell that
I'm
person
sorry.
about the bell.
Yes,
like,
it feels
wasn't our
good.
fault.
It feels good sometimes.
Yes, it was great.
Yes.
So thank you for watching. As always, I'm Rob E.
And I'm J Marsh.
And this is
Attack on Show.